Thank you very much. When I say Carver, you say pride, Carver.
Pride.
Carver.
Pride.
I can't hear you. When you say Carver, you say pride, Carver.
Pride.
Carver. Pride.
You didn't say last time.
Go ahead.
All right, good evening. According to 2012 SFUSD data, while African American students made up only 10.8% of the district student population, they comprise 55% of all suspensions. As a result,
we're having clicker issues.
Stop the timer.
I did. Thank you for keeping me honest. I do love that we have DOT in here if we need it, but I'll do my best without you first. All right, hello? Keeping us honest?
So as a result of that data, African American students receive on average 5 less instructional days than their counterparts. At Dr. George Washington Carver Elementary School, last year's data showed that although African American students comprise 50% of the student population, they disproportionately made up 94% of all out-of-class office referrals. 84 of these referrals for African American students were for our young men. Data collected early this year in August and September reflected that African American males comprised almost 100% of all out-of-class office referrals. On average, some of these students were out of class for almost 30 minutes, but some students averaged up to 2 hours of missed class time due to multiple referrals. We know that many factors play a part in the behaviors and the adult responses that keep students out of class, contrary to just the demeanor or character of the students themselves. Safety is one of these factors. Carver's most recent social, emotional, and culture climate report indicated that only 52% of the students felt safe at school. In addition to low perceptions of safety, systemic conditions continue to plague communities like Bayview Hunters Point. Cultural, irrelevant, and biased curriculum causes students to become disengaged and often causes them to mistrust learning institutions like school. All of these factors can symbolically exclude our African American males from the classroom long before their disruptive behaviors do.
The loss of quality instructional time in the classroom not only impacts our students immediately their academic outcomes, but can dramatically affect their life trajectories. Carver has decided to shift this for its 90 African American boys. We have changed and challenged ourselves to redefine the in and out classroom experience for the African American boys. As a part of the innovation grant, in this process, our beliefs have been affirmed that if our boys feel valued, supported, and engaged, and being challenged appropriately, they will be more inclined to remain in the classroom and thrive. Thus, to do that, we must, 1, increase the sense of belonging for our African American boys within the classroom, 2, nurture their natural leadership abilities, and 3, target African American achievement with a community approach.
As we embarked on the define and discovery phase of the iLab innovation process, we thoroughly reviewed out-of-class referral data by grade level, compared that information against academic performance scores, held multiple Carver stakeholder groups, surveyed our school site staff, and conducted extensive community research. Early in the process, we held student fishbowls with 8 young men who collectively received 90% of all out-of-class referrals. Responses from those talking prompts informed us that our boys did indeed desire to be in the classroom. The young men expressed joy in being leaders amongst their peers. They identified that being out of class made them feel, in their own words, like dummies. Similarly, we invited parents of the same boys who participated in the fishbowl to come and share their experiences at Carver. We learned that many of our focal boys are being raised by single mothers, and they often struggle with ways to support their students' outbursts and frustrations. The parent participants asked for parenting and or support groups, African American male role models for their children, and a deeper connection and communication with classroom staff. Our teachers and support staff echoed many of the same sentiments expressed from both parents and students. Teachers named that their inability to relate to students and their lack of two-way communication with parents are major areas of deficit.
Based on the insights gained from that work, we have identified 4 key strategies that we are confident will lead us to success. Through a continuous prototype process, we piloted weekly teacher readings, a community fatherhood group, a Young Lions boys group for grades 3 through 5, and Making a Man Monday. Tonight, we call your attention to 2 of these transformational approaches, Making a Man Monday and the 180-degree Young Lions program.
The first approach we will share tonight is the Young Lions program. The mission of the YLP is to help boys enhance their lives by accepting personal accountability and continuously striving towards the goal of achieving their full potential. The program includes essential manhood development components to address the specific learning styles and culture of our boys, using the virtues of Ma'at for character education development curriculum. Through the generosity of People's Services, we were granted the funds to start a YLP group, boys group, focusing on our 3rd through 5th grade African American students. Currently, the program is 6 weeks in, and the results are astounding. We have seen a 33% drop in the number of out-of-class office referrals for 14 of the 18 Young Lions enrolled in the program.
We have discovered that while in-class time for our 3 through 5 grade African American males has increased, the class time for K through 2 African American male students has decreased. We are now getting regular requests from K through 2 students to join the boys group. Kindergarten students are asking, "What about me?" and "I want to go to the boys group." This has led us to the first ask of tonight. Due to the preliminary success of the 3 through 5 program and positive behavior shifts, we have noted that we must be preventative and begin manhood and character development in our lower grades. The Young Lions program must expand to our young cubs. This recent reduction in out-of-class time for our African American 3 through 5 grade boys further confirms and validates the feedback received from all stakeholders. Our boys are in need of culturally competent and committed mentors that mirror their ethnic and gender makeup, and they need it upon school entry.
We note that though these results show success, they are just preliminary, and to make them sustainable, we must respond to both the Carver staff and parent community by sharing these culturally responsive practices throughout. The Young Lions program, in partnership with a committed team of site leaders, will work together to host teacher professional developments. We will extend our book studies to include readings of Christopher Edmonds for white folks who teach in the hood, and the rest of y'all too, and Zaretta Hammond's culturally responsive teaching and the brain. We believe that the book study, the professional development, and collaborative opportunities to observe and participate in YOP activities will redefine what engagement of students look like throughout our school community, specifically African American students. Additionally, we will create practical application tips sheets for our staff. In response to the insights gained from our parents, we will continue to host regular family gatherings such as the Fathers Group, start an African American parent group, and offer a mother support group. The YLP staff will also host family nights to aid in relationship building outside of school.
Our second pilot is Making a Man Monday. As we have observed and monitored the early outcomes of the Young Lion program, we have noted that the gained sense of leadership and belonging must transfer out of the group environment into the school community. As we continue to iterate our prototype and further reflect on the feedback from our school community, we decided that the 3rd through 5th grade participants needed opportunities to display their leadership. Drawing upon the principles of the Young Lion program and the Mission High School's African American Manhood Development course, we decided to introduce Making a Man Mondays. Similar to the Mission High School's Fresh to Death Fridays, the Young Lions will be outfitted with community-donated ties to accent their uniforms and given the opportunity to share their manhood learnings with their peers. We kicked off Making a Man Monday a couple of weeks ago, and the response from our boys and the community was noteworthy. The Young Lions stood boldly in front of their Carver peers and led the school community in reciting the Carver Creed. The pride that the students took in being amongst their peers and highlighted for their leadership was evident in the decreased numbers of outbursts of these young men. The decrease means that students are spending more time in class accessing instruction. Making Amend Monday is a necessary way of empowering our boys to nurture their innate leadership capabilities and will increase their sense of belonging with the Carver community. With the support of the Innovation Grant, we can sustain and build upon this weekly event.
So here's the acts. Though we have highlighted 2 promising practices in order for us to change the trajectory of our boys, we implore you to consider awarding Carver. I know there's going to be a lengthy act. I got it. $23,000. $10,000 would be the total cost to extend our 180-degree Young Lions program to our K through 2nd grade students and Making Amend Monday. $5,000 is requested for engaging our families and parent meeting with books, incentives, and food. $8,000 for our teachers and the staff book study, books, reflection, journals, and extended hours for pay. This last 25 seconds is coming straight from me. With $10,000, we can engage and respond to the needs of our African American boys, which is a focus and need to be a focus in South Central Unified School District. In addition to that $5,000, we must invest in our families as partners, and with $8,000, we will more equip and empower our teachers to rethink and recreate the classroom experience for African American students. Boom.